What is going on, everybody? Welcome in to the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS live stream. I'm Howard Bender. Beside me, Henry Wilson. We thank you all for being here on the Fantasy Alarm YouTube page. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button as well so you never miss it. We do a preview show every single day, Monday through Friday, so that you can see what the slate looks like. And then Henry and I are here, or John and Pemba and I are here, or John and Pemba and Henry Wilson are here. 4 p.m. Eastern every single time. Get you guys all set and squared away. Henry, how are you today, man?
I'm doing great. Excited to talk some baseball.
I'm very excited to talk some baseball. Let's get to some information here as we kind of pile it in. There is one game that is in danger of not being played. That is the Royals at White Sox. Looking at rain and thunderstorm chances increasing towards game time. There's also a chance of severe storms moving into the Chicago area this evening. So that one might not play. I don't have any problem fading White Sox. Royals, well, I mean, we could have gone Brady Singer here, Henry, but you didn't want to go Brady Singer anyway, did you?
Why is he $9,200? I like Brady Singer.
The White Sox. They suck.
No, I know it's the White Sox. I know they're terrible. That price just seems ridiculous for Brady Singer. So even if the weather was there, I wasn't interested.
All right. Well, there you go. You don't even have to make that choice, Henry. We won't do that. But let's get started here. Let's talk about some pitching. Obviously, Dylan Cease, Logan Gilbert, will fade Singer, and Hunter Green top off as the most expensive pitchers, $9,000 or up. One of them your favorite?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Logan Gilbert. Obviously, I like all three of these guys. All three of these guys are great pitchers, but today, Logan Gilbert, he gets to face Cincinnati, who's striking out a ton. They're like top 5 strikeout rate in the league, and it's not even in Cincinnati, so you don't have to deal with that terrible ballpark. And Logan Gilbert's just looked awesome so far this year. He's been the best pitcher on the Mariners, which is saying something with a rotation that has Luis Castillo and George Kirby. He's got a 26% strikeout minus walk rate through his first 3 starts. And yeah, he's looked awesome. And I'm going to keep riding the hot streak that's been Logan Gilbert against Cincinnati today.
I love that. I like Logan Gilbert, big fan of his. I like Dylan Cease. When you don't have, Christian Yelich in the lineup, it changes the dynamic. So, they're bringing up some young kids. Joey Weimer's getting a shot. So I'm actually not against Dylan Cease, but he's not my favorite guy out of this tier. John and Pemba and I were talking about it. The potential of getting of 8 earned runs being dropped on Hunter Green is always a possibility here. But it is Seattle, and the only team that strikes out more than Cincinnati is Seattle, for crying out loud. So, Hunter Green, 10, 12, 15 Ks here with, equal number of earned runs, definitely a possibility. But I think Seattle they're not putting it together, and I just don't think that this is the get right game for them. So I dig me some Hunter Green. Now, mid-tier guys, Tanner Bybee, everybody seems to like. Jared Jones is the big popular one going up against the Mets. Lance Lynn, I actually kind of got a little turned on to Lance Lynn by John and Pemba in the preview show because he has looked pretty good for 2 out of his 3 starts. The junk start against Miami. So the question is does Lance Lynn play down to his competition and suck tonight against the Oakland A's, or does he actually turn it out? Anybody mid-tier you're favoring?
Yeah, I mean, I've always been a Lance Lynn fan, and obviously going against Oakland, I can't argue too much about that, but I love Jared Jones. I was just talking about how great Logan Gilbert's 26% strikeout minus walk rate was, but Jared Jones is over 30%. Freddie Peralta is the only pitcher in the majors right now that has a better strikeout minus walk rate. So Jared Jones has just been awesome. It's obviously only 3 starts. He's not going to continue to be this dominant, but he has just looked so good. He's got that strikeout potential. The Mets aren't a team that struck out a lot so far, but they also haven't been very scary. So, I think Jared Jones is super talented, and he'll continue to pile up these strikeouts like he has been.
You can check out the strikeout options over in the DFS playbook. Jason Radowitz on the playbook today. We always put it. It doesn't matter who's doing the playbook, but we always give you your top options for strikeouts, best odds for a win. Top option for strikeouts. We've gone through the top 5 right there. Hunter Green, Dylan Cease, Logan Gilbert, Jared Jones, Lance Lynn. Those 5 guys right there. So likely to be an area where we're going to hang out. Also, Lance Lynn, Dylan Cease, and Hunter Green. Best odds for a win as well. So that's what's cooking over there on that front here. Any other pitchers that you that you kind of like? Looking a little further down, maybe I don't know, Reynaldo Lopez, Yusuf Kikuchi, Carlos Rodon.
Not really. I don't really. This is one of those slates that I feel like I want to live at the top a little more. I just I see the upside in Reynaldo Lopez a little bit, but it's still against Houston. Garrett Whitlock is good, but the strikeouts have kind of been down, and Cleveland doesn't strike out a lot. So how much potential is really there? There's guys that I like, but I just think that the upside of some of these higher priced guys or even those middle guys is just a lot higher.
Yeah, I'm looking down further in there. Of course, it's annoying that they've got they don't realize that Jonathan Cannon is starting for the White Sox, supposedly. So we've got every single White Sox pitcher known to mankind sitting there, none of whom we'd want to use. In the lower section there, you got guys like Wade Miley, Tommy Henry, Hunter Brown against the Braves. So no, I think we're gonna stay away from that, aren't we?
Yeah, not going there. That just does not seem smart.
Why are you putting Patrick Corbin up there, John? Why are you putting Patrick Corbin? It's Patrick Corbin Day. We celebrate that to stack batters against him. So let's just get to the batters here, John, and get Patrick Corbin off of my screen, for crying out loud. At the catcher position, it's a position that we traditionally like to pay down for, but I don't know. Maybe you have other thoughts. Obviously, Will Smith against Patrick Corbin. If you're going to stack Dodgers against Corbin, Will Smith is definitely in a spot where, you want to do it as a right-handed bat.
Yeah, I mean, Patrick Corbin might give up 5 or 6 home runs against the Dodgers. So, yeah, Will Smith, not a bad option, but I still like paying down. I think there's just too many good, cheap options where you can save money here and still have a decent bat in your lineup.
Such as? Do tell, Henry.
Such as, there are a couple guys I really like today, but I think my number one is Luis Campusano facing Wade Miley. Wade Miley's a decent pitcher, but this is, he's kind of still ramping up, and Luis Campusano crushes lefties. He hasn't so much this year, but as a career, he hits really well against lefties. I'm going to trust that he can continue to do that. And so 3,300 against Wade Miley. Yeah.
Yeah, I like Campusano as well. He was definitely my favorite one. We saw it flashed on the screen before. Danny Jansen, that is John Impemba, our producer, imposing his will on us. Danny Jansen actually making his season debut tonight, and last year he had a 308 isolated power mark against left-handed pitching. So Danny Jansen against Carlos Rodon. If you're fading Rodon, which again, I don't mind you doing. I think that's a worthwhile play if you're paying down. Anything further down there? I don't really know if there's, we haven't seen anything. Connor Wong is in there against Tanner Bybee. I don't know if I want to use that. I'd probably stick with Jansen. Probably is the lowest I'd go. How about you?
Yeah, I'd agree. I mean, Danny Jansen's a great hitter, so 3,100. You're not saving enough money for these other guys that can't hit a baseball, and Danny Jansen can hit a baseball. So, don't really want to go any lower.
So when we're looking to build, we'll either look at Campusano, we'll look at Danny Jansen, we'll see what our build gives us, and which one we want to go to. Let's hit that first base position here. Obviously loaded with, just absolutely amazing talent. I see you. I see through you. What's going on, brother? Welcome back, Justin. Love seeing you there. Shohei Ohtani, Matt Olson against Hunter Brown, or anybody over there for the Astros, depending on how far Hunter Brown goes. Freddie Freeman, Pete Alonso, and then you got my boy Christian Walker, who I'm still in on. And I will always be in on Christian Walker because Kyle Hendricks just pitches to massive amounts of contact. And he just That's all he does. Is just he's like he's like that dude from Major League, right? Just a junk ball pitcher. He's got like some Vaseline over here, some Vagisil over here, and some Bardol. Sometimes just rubs a little jalapeno in his nose. Like, so that's Kyle Hendricks to me. So give me Christian Walker all day.
Yeah, I can't really argue with that. I think I'm happy to stack against Kyle Hendricks absolutely any day, regardless of the offense. And today it's an offense that I really like. But I also think it's kind of hard to ignore Matt Olson up there. I know he's expensive, but Hunter Brown was real bad in his last outing against the Royals. It really, really, really bad. And so I think this Braves offense is probably going to do a lot. Again, who knows? Hunter Brown might only go an inning, but then you got a bullpen game for the rest of the day. So it's, hard to avoid going after some of those Braves hitters today.
Yeah, it's very difficult to do that, but and I said this on the preview show, they're not going to leave Hunter Brown out to dry. If he doesn't have his stuff from the moment, they had him throw 40 pitches and he gave up 9 earned runs. It was just absolutely atrocious. There's talk. I talked to Jim Bowden about. He thinks that there might be a little bit of an injury that Hunter Brown might be kind of jumping in there with, and so he's interested in stashing Hunter Brown. But so my feeling is if he doesn't have his stuff, he's out in the first inning. Yeah, it turns into a bullpen game, but it does get to be a little bit more difficult to predict what a lineup's going to do. Granted, it is the Braves, but it is yet a little bit more difficult to predict what a lineup's going to do if you pull out that pitcher in the first inning.
Yeah, totally agree. Can't disagree with you there. I still think they could do some damage, but you definitely have to be careful there when it turns into a bullpen game because you're facing a new arm every inning or so, and they're usually pretty good pitchers too. But maybe they leave him in there and let him suffer for a few innings, and they can put up 10 runs. You never know. But you're probably right.
You can't hang that kid out to dry again. No, it's a rookie manager in Espada. You just can't do it. You're going to ruin the kid. Ruin him. All right, mid-tier bats for first base here. Josh Naylor against Garrett Whitlock. Tristan Cassis, the lefty, against Tanner Bybee. Well, I was going to say your boy Vinny Pasquantino, but that game's probably not even going to play. So what about you for a value first baseman?
I like Justin Turner. You already talked about fading Rodon a little bit, which if you want to do that, Justin Turner batting fourth in this Toronto lineup. And man, he just continues to be a great hitter. He's going to be doing this when he's 55, apparently, because I swear Justin Turner does not age. He just goes out there and produces. And yeah, when you get him actually up there batting fourth against Rodon, I think he could be a pretty good play on this cheaper end today.
Yeah, I feel these Jays, they've been hitting lefties well throughout the season. Granted, it's still early, but yeah, I like that, man. I definitely like that. So we're kind of leaning. It's kind of funny looking at a possible Blue Jays stack as we kind of move through this. Looking even further down here, I like Connor Joe. He's going to be leading off against the southpaw and Jose Quintana, who has been decent. But I don't mind Connor Joe. And then I'm looking at Adams over in the chat. Says Michael Busch for 6 home runs in a row. Lefty, but Tommy Henry is no good. Tommy Henry is no good. And I bet the under on his outs prop today. It was 16.5 is where it was at. So, Vegas obviously thinks he could go, into the 5th inning, but I'm not into. I love Michael Busch. I really do. I have him everywhere in season-long fantasy. But I don't know if I'd go lefty here. Garrett Cooper's the righty bat that could get the start. Not that they're going to sit Michael Busch, but I might even lean towards Garrett Cooper, John's favorite guy, if I don't go Connor Joe.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there.
I don't need to see Garrett Cooper. He's no
You don't want to see Garrett Cooper. But yeah, no, Michael Busch, obviously, yeah, he's hitting a home run every day. But sometimes it can be fun to ride the hot streak. But against a lefty, even one against Tommy Henry, look, I'm not going to argue with you vehemently if you really want to go Michael Busch. But it's not something I want to do in the lefty-lefty matchup here, even with, pretty cheap price still.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like if you want to root for Michael Busch to hit a home run 6 times in a row, bet it. Like just go to DraftKings Sportsbook or BetMGM, and just bet the home run prop there. You might as well just sprinkle a little something on that, as opposed to kind of tearing out your DFS lineup. With so many other options at both first and third, I'm just going to hold off on the lefty on lefty crime here.
Yeah.
Let's go over to second base. Oh, John's telling me Michael Busch 0 for 6 against left-handed pitching this season. So no shock there. At second base, Mookie Betts against Patrick Corbin is probably the be-all, end-all for second baseman and shortstop. But let's look through here. Who else do you like here at the higher end of the second base position?
I really like a lot of these guys, but I'm a fan of Xander Bogaerts today. He's not high end. He's a little cheaper, but Padres are one of my favorite stacks today. Like I said, Wade Miley coming back. He, didn't have a lot of damage against him in that first game, but he also, didn't strike anybody out, which he's going to continue to not do and allow a lot of contact. And so Xander Bogaerts, off to a pretty slow start, but it's Xander Bogaerts. He can hit. He also has been, transitioning a new position, which can have a little bit to do with it. He's focused on the defense. I think it's not going to take a lot of time here for Xander Bogaerts to really start clicking and hitting well. And I like how cheap he comes in here to get a part of that Padres offense.
Yeah, I like Xander Bogaerts as well. I also like Gleyber Torres going up against the lefty and Kikuchi. I'm not going to talk about BVP numbers. I'll just say that he is a career 271 hitter against southpaws. And, I'm perfectly fine utilizing him and not having to, if I'm not going to pay all the way up. I do think that Torres and Bogaerts is an area that you definitely want to check out for sure. I think that's worthwhile as well. I'll pass on Nolan Gorman because of the lefty on lefty crime. I'll pass on Nico Horner until that dude steals a freaking base.
Man, yeah, Nico's killing me. I have quite a few shares of him for season long. I was really high on Nico Horner. Again, I'm not giving up yet, but what's he doing, man?
No,
what's going on?
He's got a 372 on base percentage, and he's been caught stealing twice. So they're not really running him. He's only taken off twice now. So I'll wait until that kind of turns something out. Further down, you could go Bryce Terang against Dylan Cease. I like Jared Triolo against Quintana.
Yeah, I really like Jared Triolo. He's one of my favorites today. I think Triolo is super talented. I think he's one of those guys that's not going to take long for his price to rise. And Jose Quintana is not great.
He's not great. He's definitely a hittable player. He's definitely hittable. All right. Anything further down there? You can go with Nicky. Nope. Okay. We don't want to go Nicky Lopez here. Yeah, I don't really see anything down there near the bottom. Do you? Anything?
No, I mean, I don't hate Luis Garcia that I just pulled up there. You see it's lefty, but it's Yarbrough. So it's going to be, he's not going to be pitching the whole game. And I don't know. I don't know if I trust the Dodgers to be able to put together that good of a bullpen game either. And I don't hate some of these Nationals bats that are super cheap, which seems crazy to say. The Nationals don't have very many good bats, but they're so cheap. And they scored quite a few runs yesterday on the Dodgers, and I just don't know how much pitching depth the Dodgers have available for today's game. So I could see kind of going contrarian and grabbing a couple Nats bats.
Oof, I don't know if I could do that. I mean, I think they might bring up Landon Knack to pitch in as the primary right-handed pitcher, which is probably why John likes a little Luis Garcia there. But again, I'm not paying all the way down like that. That's just, to me, there's no. I mean, it's tough on the value front there. So I'm gonna. We don't have to pay all the way up, but we've given you some decent options there at the mid-tier that I think we can get away with. Let's go to the hot corner. Third base, obviously Jose Ramirez, Austin Riley. Devers back in the lineup here. Machado. I like Arenado actually against JP Sears. Sears he's not a strikeout guy. He definitely pitches to contact. He's been struggling against some right-handers. he's looked okay, nothing great, but I'd dip into Arenado. What about you?
Yeah, I really like a lot of this middle area. I like Machado, like I already said, the Padres offense would be fine with stacking them. Yeah, Arenado against Sears. I also really like Eugenio Suarez, like you said, some Diamondbacks stacking against Hendricks. I think you have some really good options there in the middle of just super, super strong bats that, you're under $5,000. So you're not paying way up, and these guys are all-stars.
Yeah. John, give us a second here, man. Before you start bringing up Chris
Morel,
Morel, I was just going to get to him. He's so impatient. It's unbelievable. Slow it down, buddy. Slow it down. We've only been talking for 20 minutes. We got to get people some questions. Relax. I have the control. Yes, I know you do, John. This is why I was taking over the control last time we did this show, which maybe I'll have to do back. But yes, Chris Morel is definitely a player who we've talked about. Hits lefties extremely well, and we all know it is Tommy Henry, who is not good. Not good at all.
Yeah, I'm not a big Morel believer, but that's mostly just because he's so volatile, and yeah, he can't hit righties very well. But for DFS, the volatility is okay because he's going to have a day where he, hits a couple home runs probably, and so if he's going to do it anywhere, it's probably going to be today against Tommy Henry. So
right, I mean that's the thing. Like Suarez against Hendricks, I like it, but I think Morel against Henry is a little bit better there. I like Ke'Bryan Hayes against Jose Quintana, but Ke'Bryan Hayes doesn't have the power that Morel has. I think you're definitely looking at a lot of good power here for Morel. So I do like paying down in the mid tier for him. We obviously don't want to go Candelario against Logan Gilbert. Do you want to tap into? So Abraham Toro likely going to be the starter here because JD Davis is on the IL. You've got Abraham Toro against Lance Lynn. You've also got Brett Beatty, the lefty bat, going up against Jared Jones. Interested in Beatty at all?
I am interested in Beatty. I'm not interested in Toro. I just don't think he's a great hitter, but I think Beatty is a good hitter. Said Jared Jones is one of my favorite pitchers of the day, so likely not making it in many of my lineups. But if for some reason you don't believe in Jones, I feel like Brett Beatty is easily the best hitter of the third base down in this end, and he's batting fifth also, so he's got a pretty decent lineup spot for being only $3,000. So said I'm probably not going to do it just because I'm a real believer in Jared Jones right now, but yeah, he's a really good pay down option at third base most days right now.
Somebody who I missed out on when we were talking about second base, but now that I see him scroll down here a little further here at third, and that's Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, who's actually going to lead off tonight, I believe. Or he's batting further down.
Eighth. Yeah.
See, it's the eyes, man. The eyes just don't work. Either way, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa's got some decent numbers against left-handed pitching in his career. It's not great. It's not amazing. But if you find yourself, I mean, listen, if you're going to sit there and you're going to pay up for like Dylan Cease and Logan Gilbert, because there are tons of people who are going to do that. Or if you go Logan Gilbert and Hunter Green, you're going to need to find some value somewhere. So, possibly a spot. Maybe you pay down at second base for him instead of third, and you kind of move into that mid tier. But that's probably about it.
Yeah, right. I can see it. I think you got to be stacking Blue Jays for sure. I don't want Isaiah Kiner-Falefa in there unless he's with like 3 or 4 other Blue Jays probably. But if you're doing that route, yeah, decent way to pay down.
What does that lineup look like here for the Toronto Blue Jays? Yeah, you got Kiner-Falefa hitting 8th, Dalton Varsho 9th, and then can wrap around to Springer if you wanted to. Man, that bottom end of that lineup, right? I mean, we were talking about using Danny Jansen, but that bottom end of that lineup, I mean, there's no protection there. Ernie Clement, Davis Schneider is hitting before him, so we'll have to see. It could be an interesting one-off. All right, let's get to the shortstop position here. Obviously, Mookie Betts. We all love Bobby Witt, even though he was a bust yesterday. Ellie De La Cruz going up against Gilbert. You don't want to do that. You could go Bichette against Rodon. What about a little Manny Machado?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I've already, been talking my Padres love today. I think they are my number one stack today going against Wade Miley. But also, you could slot Manny Machado in at third base, and you could go for another Padre here with Ha-Seong Kim, which why is he so cheap? I feel like to start the year, Kim was getting priced up with the same as Machado, Bogarts, those guys. And now he's coming in under $4,000. That just doesn't really make sense to me with the talent that is Ha-Seong Kim. And so I think he's a pretty good steal at shortstop here today.
Yeah, usually we go when we're paying down at shortstop, like we immediately turn to like Jeremy Pena. So with Ha-Seong Kim actually being cheaper than Pena, and knowing that, listen, Wade Miley has had times where he's been really good, and there have been times where he's been bad. I don't necessarily know if I want to stack Padres as much as you do, but I mean, I guess if Machado and Ha-Seong Kim are like right there in the lineup with each other, I think that could be something that we could play into for sure. Deeper dives here. Blaze Alexander against Kyle Hendricks is obviously something that we can do. I really don't. I just don't like this. I don't like these value plays at all.
No, it gets shortstop gets pretty ugly pretty quick. I do like Mason Wynn going up against JP Sears. I've already been talking a lot of Mason Wynn love, and so far it's been working out. The dude just keeps hitting, and JP Sears shouldn't be able to do a whole lot of keeping this Cardinals lineup down. And so, yeah, I like Mason Wynn if you are going to pay down, because everything else around him is pretty ugly.
Crap. It's crap. All right, let's go to the outfield here. It's real easy to say, I mean, obviously Acuna, Ohtani. I think Judge is going to be a monster today. Soto, I love Yordan Alvarez against Ronaldo Lopez. I think Alvarez is going to be an absolute beast. Who do you like up top for outfield?
Yeah, I think there's just so many good guys. Yeah, you go for the Astros hitters against Reynaldo Lopez. Judge and Soto going up against Kikuchi is not bad. Again, if you're going for the Padres still, Fernando Tatis going against Wade Miley. I absolutely love all of these plays, but I think my number one, if I'm going up top, is I'm going to just continue to stick with the Padres for today, and I like Fernando Tatis Jr. If I'm already talking up the Padres, I might as well go after the best hitter in the Padres lineup, which is Tatis.
Yeah, no doubt. I didn't mention Corbin Carroll, but I do love that lefty bat against Hendricks. I think that's a definite play. I've definitely, when I've played around with some lineups here, because I got my Tout Wars Daily contest to jump into as well. Alvarez is definitely a guy that I was looking at. Carroll's another guy who I was looking at in that top end. Also, obviously, when you're looking at guys like Gurriel and stacking Diamondbacks, I think that definitely works for sure. Let's see. Who else do we got here? Scrolling down a little further, obviously, Teoscar Hernandez against the lefty Patrick Corbin. Why wouldn't we do something like that? I don't know. What do Bellinger's numbers against lefties look like? I don't remember what his numbers against lefties were at.
That's a good question.
Dive into that one there. So I think that's going to be something that we want to take a look at. While you're digging those up, I will also give a shout out to John's favorite player and Michael Harris. I think Michael Harris, the lefty bat, starting off at least against Hunter Brown, might be a nice little intriguing spot to be in.
Yep. Bellinger is actually hitting lefties so far this year better than righties. It's a small sample, but even for his career, he has no problem with lefties. It's a little worse than righties, but it's pretty close to even. So I don't need to shy away from Bellinger in the lefty matchup.
Not against Tommy Henry, we don't. That's for damn sure. Further down the list, Jake Fraley, any of the Reds that you can, if you were thinking about fading Gilbert, but I think we're going to be leaning into him. I know that you love Jared Jones, but dude, Brandon Nimmo, what he's been doing lately at a leadoff spot, I can't ignore it.
Dude, you don't have to work hard to sell me on Brandon Nimmo, even with my Jones love today, because I am just a long-time huge Nimmo believer and think he does not get enough love like anywhere. I think because he just maybe doesn't hit a ton of home runs, people ignore him, but man, I think Nimmo is just such a good hitter and can produce a lot at the top of that Mets lineup.
What about Estieri Ruiz going up against Lance Lynn? He got called back from the from the minors. I don't know if you saw what he did in the minors, but I've got the numbers right here offhand because I just did the fantasy baseball stock watch. Estieri Ruiz in 11 games at AAA Las Vegas. Now, keep in mind, I know he hit a home run as a pinch hitter last night, but keep in mind that the PCL is one of the most hitter-friendly leagues around, and Las Vegas happens to be one of the top places to hit home runs. So Estieri Ruiz, who slashed 326, 423, 581 with 3 home runs, 8 ribbies, 6 runs scored, and 7 stolen bases at the Las Vegas, the Las Vegas Aviators, they're called now. I mean, you know, he's obviously got that crazy stolen base potential. It is Lance Lynn, who's not good. Do you dare?
I want to, but I don't think I dare, just because I don't trust the Athletics to, like, are they going to start him? Are they going to actually let him play the whole game? Like, he had 3 games where he was fantastic, and they sent him down. They could bring him back up. Sure, he gets a pinch hit home run last night, but are they actually going to let him start? And if he starts, is he going to stay in the whole game? Or are they going to how are the Athletics going to treat Ruiz? So I don't know, until I actually see that they're starting him and going to let him hit and play, I don't know if I want to deal with the headache of whatever the Athletics are going to, on a whim, decide they want to do with Estieri Ruiz.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, listen, JD Davis is on the IL. Brent Rooker is on the IL. They can move Seth Brown over to the DH spot. Toro's going to play third. Lawrence Butler will probably play right. I mean, I don't think, unless they're going to platoon him with Tyler Nevin, which would make no sense whatsoever.
No, but does anything they do make any sense?
No, it definitely doesn't. It definitely doesn't. But yeah, all right. So I'm just a little bit more bullish on Ruiz than you. It's fine.
It's fine. And I want to be. I just, again, as the player, the talent, I am. I want to make sure the Athletics aren't going to do something stupid first.
All right. Looking a little further down here, and we got the comment in there from M. Rojas, and that was Jock Peterson. Jock Peterson going up against a righty in Kyle Hendricks, a very hittable righty in Kyle Hendricks. Do you glance at a little Jock Peterson, or do you only use him as if you're doing a little Diamondback stack?
No, I think I'd be fine either way. I mean, I'm definitely on a Diamondback stack, but I think Jock Peterson, even as a one-off play, look, he's hitting pretty well for the fact that he doesn't have a home run. It's, it's a lot of pinch hits and not a lot of starts, but when he is starting, even like he's batting 310, 827 OPS, and that's without a home run. And Jock can hit homers. So like they're gonna come. I'm kind of okay with going after Jock Peterson today.
Okay. Further down, more great value out here. You could go a Jackson Churio. I'd say JJ Bleday, the lefty bat against Lance Lynn, but you hate all things Oakland, which is totally fine and totally fair.
Yeah.
What about further down the list? Anybody you kind of eyeballing here? Jake McCarthy, Alex Verdugo, anybody?
Once you start to get this range, I almost want to punt it just because there's some like really, really cheap guys that are interesting today.
Such
as you're gonna go all the way down to 3,000, go all the way down to 2,000 and go after the newly called up Jonathan Clase or Andy. I don't think it's pronounced Pages, but it's Pages.
Page. Do you want to go with Clase and Page?
Or Nick Senzel he's a little more. I think he's 2,400 for those Nats. If you do want to go the contrarian Nats bats, so I think if you're going cheap, go all the way cheap and go for Clase or whatever.
Page, who shops at Target. We're gonna have to get a pronunciation. You know what? Actually, I've got a pronunciation guide right here. Let me see if I can, if he's listed there. If he's listed there, it'll make it a little easier for us. Dodgers, click and see. Where do we got? Is he listed here? Come on. There he is. It is. It's Pages. Pages.
Mm-hmm.
Andy Pages. There it is. So it's the G is completely silent.
All right, there we go. I'll forget that in about 30 seconds.
I mean, listen, you know what? I mean, they tried Taylor Trammell. He wasn't working, he wasn't hitting the ball. Jason Hayward's dealing with the back issue there. So Pages he's going to start, right? He's going to play. And Clase is the same way. He's going to be out there. And I think they said that he's just going to start in left field for them in Seattle. Now, I'd probably lean Pages a little bit more just because he's in that Dodger lineup and I can kind of build around and get a little bit of a Dodger stack in there. I don't necessarily know if I want to use him as a one-off just because he's super cheap and punt like that. I almost might want to, kind of stack some Dodgers here.
Yeah, I feel like you've got to, even if you're not doing a full 5-man stack, at least stack him with a couple guys. Get a even a 2-man, 3-man stack. I'm okay with that too. But yeah, probably don't just pay the $2,000 for the one-off because I think that lowers the potential value you can get from using him in your lineup.
All right. Well, before we start building it out here, let's see. I'm looking for. We got some lineups coming out fast and furious here. Anthony Volpe leading off for the Yankees behind Soto, with Soto and Judge right behind him.
I like that.
Torres hitting further down in that lineup there, which disappoints me a little bit, but not enough to complain. Let's see if there's anybody. I'm just looking to see if there's any. I'm looking at the Cleveland lineup. I'm looking at the Red Sox lineup. I don't see anything crazy different there. Wilyer Abreu, the lefty against Bibee, if you wanted to. No,
he's a good hitter. I don't hate that either.
Okay, well, there he is. He's batting 5th. Jack Sawinski batting cleanup, but that's lefty on lefty crime. I don't know if we want to go with that.
Yeah, Sawinski is purely against righties for me. I love him against righties. I'm not touching him against a lefty though.
Houston lineup is out. Same thing, same as it ever was. Nothing new there. Arizona's lineup is out. Marte, Carroll, Gurriel, Walker, Jock Peterson, Suarez. So, yeah, again, I would look at that Walker. I like that Walker Peterson little right there.
Yeah, that's definitely Diamondbacks are. I gave my Padres love, but Padres Diamondbacks seem like the 2 clear stacks of the day. They're at least for me.
Wow, projected lineup has Pages batting 7th. For the Dodgers with Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas behind him. It really kind of buries him. It puts him right behind. They're batting him behind Muncy for that stack. So you might have to. I would consider bypassing it, little Will Smith, Teoscar Hernandez, and then Pages in there and just skip over Max Muncy. That might be a possibility.
Yeah, I think I would do that. I'm okay with that. I think a lot of people try to stick to that. They want the guys in a lineup right in between each other, but I'm okay if you have to skip a guy and don't exactly get them all in a row. I think it's completely viable.
All right. Where do we have? Where's Olivares? Olivares is John's chiming in about Olivares, 250 plus ISO, 360 WOBA versus left-handed pitchers. Last 3 seasons for the Pirates. He's batting 4th today. Where's he batting 4th?
Is he really?
Olivares is batting cleanup? Are we sure about that, John?
I don't even see him in the lineup.
I don't even see him in the lineup there, Johnny. I'm looking at the Pirates lineup right now. Connor Joe, Brian Reynolds, Sawinski, McCutchen, Triolo, Michael A. Taylor, Henry Davis, and then A. Williams, Alika Williams. Mm-hmm. So, John's saying he's sending me a link for Underdog. Well, all right. Well, we'll have to see who's got the lineup there. Underdog says it's Olivares batting 4th, and yet my other sources are saying otherwise. So let's check it out. Let's definitely we'll take a look. We'll see if there's a little Pirates picture out of the dugout or something like that. Maybe.
If you do have him at 4th and not Sawinski and can actually stack some of those righties there, even Brian Reynolds, Brian Hayes, Olivares, Triolo, you get a fun little Pirate stack in there.
That would definitely work. Oh, I'm see he's peppering me again here. Pirates, they do say that Oliveris is
Oh,
batting fourth.
yeah,
So
it is Oliveris. So yeah, you could Brian Reynolds, Brian Hayes, Oliveris, McCutcheon, Triolo. It's a fun little 5 stack for not very much money going against Quintana.
probably. I don't know if I can go McCutcheon. I just can't
I
do
I
McCutcheon
mean,
anymore.
you could
I
still
just
do it.
can't.
You gonna skip him and just throw Triolo in there? Because you got to go Triolo if you're going Pirates.
That is true. That is true. Maybe we just, all right. We'll see. Let's build the lineup. Let's see what we got going on here. How about that?
Yeah.
We'll start off with the pitching. Where do we want to? Well, I mean, listen, we're getting all of these value bats all of a sudden here, right? So
Yeah.
let's get yourself some Logan Gilbert. I know you like that.
Yep. And hey, if you want to, you love Cease. If you want to really double pay up, we could try to do that. If not, we both talked I love Jared Jones. You love Lance Lynn.
Yeah, let's go. Oof. Let's try Lance Lynn first. Let's see. Let's see what's up. Let's try Lance Lynn and see. All right, catcher. Where did we want to go? I think we both like Capusano.
Yeah, Campusano or Danny Jansen feel like the good catcher plays to me.
Oh, do we want to? Let's look into stacking some J's here. Let's see where that kind of takes us. Toronto, yeah, Danny Jansen. Ooh. Let's just leave him there and see what happens.
Yeah,
John, take out Campusano, throw Danny Jansen in there. Let's see what he does for just on the cheap.
Yeah.
All right, first base. Did you want to go pay up for Matty Olson? I want to do a D-back stack.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think I'd rather go the D-back stack. I think save a little bit of money, go Walker, stack against Hendricks.
Yeah, go Walker and then plug in Jock Peterson into our outfield for the time being right now. Yeah. I like those two bats side by side with each other. Let's do that. Do we want to squeeze in some value real quick here and see what happens? What if we throw Mason Wynn at shortstop?
Yeah.
And we throw. Do you want to go Pajes? Or do you want to? I'd rather go Pajes than Clase.
Yeah, I'd rather go Pajes too. Like I said, I think I'd rather if you could sneak some Dodgers in there with him too. But I'm okay with it if we can just stick with the Diamondback stack. Maybe he does something.
All right, so those two value plays right there. Look at that; it gives us 5,100 per player right now. That okay. To me that opens up so much here. We can throw Mookie Betts at second.
That is true. Or do you want to lean Diamondbacks and Ketel Marte?
Yeah, I'd rather go Mookie Betts against Corbin.
Yeah, I'd rather go Mookie Betts too. It's Mookie Betts against Corbin.
Yeah, definitely.
And then you have the Dodgers, and I still think that they might put Pajes 9th too. So if you get the 9-1 wraparound with Mookie, then that's pretty sweet.
That would be very nice. Did we want to go? Oh, you know what I wanted to look at? I wanted to look at the Cubs lineup. That sucker's not out yet, is it? Do I see the Cubs lineup? No, I don't see it out yet.
Not out yet.
But I'd try Morel at third base. What if we go Morel at third base? How much does that leave us for our final outfielder? 4,600. And John throws in Michael Harris.
Michael Harris. I don't know. I mean,
dude.
Oof. He could go. Ooh. I mean, we could play Nimmo if we're not playing Jared Jones. Like I said, I don't hate that. But also, Lars Newbar against a lefty.
Yeah, I don't know if I love that too much. I don't know if I love that too much. Again, John's like, here, put in Ian Happ. All right, you know what? Just throw it down there, John. Just put your favorite player in there. Go ahead, whatever you want to do.
We're indecisive, so John can choose our last outfielder.
Right. This is where we're going with it. John, just put a player in. Stop. Come on. Just do it. There you go, Michael Harris.
Michael Harris. Okay.
This is strictly an example lineup of what we're looking at and who we like the most and where we're building. I know Henry likes a little of Corbin Carroll. Yeah, we do like Corbin Carroll also. All right, yeah, here we go. John, take out Michael Harris. right?
Yeah,
Put in Corbin Carroll and take out Morel. Come on, John.
I like that better.
You can do it.
I like that better.
So that would do that, and then that gives us 3,200 for a third baseman. Oh, I don't know if I want to go Brett Beatty. I don't want to go Brett Beatty.
I mean, who else do you go? You're going third though. That cheap.
Third base that cheap. Where's Triolo? Is he too expensive for us?
Triolo, I think, is second only. Yeah.
All right.
So you have to.
All right. Well, again, you guys out there can move it in. Oh, look. See, I see through saying Beatty and Carroll. So listen, this is the example lineup. John, put Beatty and Carroll in there for us, please, so that we can kind of just announce it to everybody. This is why you don't get control anymore moving forward. This is why. We're going to go with Justin's Beatty and Carroll move there. And here you go, guys. So paying up for some pitching there. We've got some value at the catcher position. We've got some value at shortstop. There's definite value to be had in the outfield. You like, Henry, you like Padres stacking tonight, right?
Yeah. Big fan of the Padres stack.
I like Diamondbacks stacking there. I might build something with the Cubs, though, too. I might just have to do that as well.
Yeah, I think Cubs could be fun. Like I said, I am weirdly in on the Nationals as my contrarian stack, too. It's small stack, people. Do not put 5 Nationals in your lineup. That seems like a recipe for disaster. But a little 2-3-man stack of the Nats, I could see it working.
All right.
Play the Nationals at your own risk, please. Do not hold me accountable when they do not.
Oh, we're totally holding you accountable, 100%. If it doesn't hit, you're screwed, man. You'll get flogged tomorrow on tomorrow's show. Oh, I don't even know if there's a show tomorrow. Tomorrow's like a daytime set, right?
We've got a day slate tomorrow.
Tomorrow's a day slate, so you'll get the preview show, but you won't get a 4 p.m. show. And then on Thursday, there's only like 5 games there, so you might not get any show. No, we'll do like a little preview of the 3-game slate early on, something like that. But thank you so much, everybody, for tuning in here. Really appreciate you guys joining us. Big thank you to John and Pemba for producing or trying to lead the show. Either way, Henry, any final thoughts here?
No, just, go build some good lineups. And really, please don't hold me accountable for the Nationals being bad. I'm going to stick to that. But I promise I'll put them in a lineup. And we'll see you all, I guess, on Friday.
See you all on Friday. Again, do me a favor. Hit that like and subscribe button. I see so many people in the room here. Hit that like button. It's just a free way of just saying we appreciate what you guys do here at Fantasy Alarm. And if you guys really want to show your appreciation, you can always go to fantasyalarm.com and subscribe to the All Pro subscription. You won't be led astray. Here's the QR code. You can take care of that. You get my best bets articles. You get all of our DFS articles. There's crazy good stuff going on there. I went 9-2 on my best bets yesterday. Went 8-4 on Friday. So,
feeling good.
Let's get it. But that's going to do it for us here. For Henry Wilson, I'm Howard Bender. This has been the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS live stream. We'll catch you next time.